Beautiful night for baseball in Milwaukee off the shores of Lake Michigan to Miller Park. It is game one. The Brewers and the Mets of a three-game weekend series, and so far the Brewers perfect 3-0 on this homestand. They were off yesterday, and let's get you caught up on the action that involves Milwaukee in the wild card chase. It was the Phillies at Houston yesterday, and the Astros surprising Philadelphia. Lowry a double, scores a run, and they were down 4-0 in that game, but come back to score 6 unanswered and win that game 6-4. Also last night, St. Louis and the Dodgers opening up a 4-game weekend series. Out in Los Angeles, Alan Craig with the RBI single in the 7th inning, and the Cardinals win 2-1 over the Los Angeles Dodgers. All right, today it's the Pirates and the Cubs. Pirates just ahead of Milwaukee in the wild card standings, but Starlin Castro a 3-run home run to lock up another victory and yet another loss for the Pirates, 7-4. Pittsburgh has lost 7 in a row. Let's get you caught up on the updated standings now as the Brewers and Ryan Braun take a little BP today in the National League wild card picture. The Brewers and the Pirates now tied 3.5 games behind. The Dodgers 2 behind. St. Louis right now, and Philadelphia still lurking. Our pitching matchup tonight is going to be Mike Fiers looking for his 10th win and facing the Mets for the first time, and Jonathan Neese, who hasn't given up more than 3 runs in each of his last 5 starts. All right, we're setting the table for you. I'm Craig Kashan as we welcome you back to coverage here of Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin. We got you up to date. Right now, we want to continue to keep you up to date of the wild card race as the night progresses. A lot of key matchups to watch for tonight. As I mentioned, the Cubs already topped Pittsburgh 7-4. They have lost 7 straight. Later tonight, Philadelphia and Houston. The Astros surprising Philadelphia in Game 1 yesterday. Later on out west, St. Louis and the Dodgers just underway in the second. It's Washington and Atlanta. No score there. The Braves, though, with the 5-game cushion for that top spot in the wild card chase. And Arizona still lurking in the weeds, playing San Francisco. The Brewers trying to take care of business at home, looking for their 10th consecutive win at Miller Park. B.A. and Rock set to take you the rest of the way.
Presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, because when friends come together, it's not just a good time, it's Miller time. By Toyota. When you choose Toyota, you get a lot for less. Toyota. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T. Rethink possible. Can the Brewers remain hot? Can they stay on this improbable run? The best winning percentage since August 20th. Nobody better than your Milwaukee Brewers. How about 18 of the last 23 games? And the Milwaukee Brewers are back at a game over 500 for the first time since April 12th. They were 4-3 at that time. Now they're finally on the plus side and hoping to keep it rolling here with 19 to play. Hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park. Great to have you with us tonight alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. Well, the Brewers are doing something that could border miraculous if they keep it going. There is a lot of baseball to be played, but the Pirates lost today, as Craig mentioned, and now Milwaukee has taken one step closer to a wild card opportunity.
And who would have thought about a month ago? I mean, it's been incredible what this team has been able to do, doing just about everything very well. Now, this is the way the team was supposed to play, according to Doug Melvin and Ron Renicky out of spring training. But right now, they're scoring a lot of runs. They're doing a lot of different ways, stealing bases. They're hitting home runs. Guys up and down that batting order contributing. You can see what they've been doing offensively. The team run average, their starting pitching has been very good. Defense, great. But the big difference right now, as opposed to a month ago, the bullpen. The bullpen has really come around, and they're really starting to finish games. That's why they're in this race right now.
Now the Brewers have won their last 6 series. They are 17-2 in their last 19 at Miller Park. Some of the particulars of this hot streak. And yes, we're running out of superlatives, but the Brewers from 12.5 back out of the wild card. Right now they are 3.5 back. They're 16 surpassed back then. Now it's down to 2, the Dodgers and the Cardinals, and they've been able to make up 12 games on the Pirates with that Pittsburgh loss earlier today. So we will see if the Brewers can keep it rolling. Mike Fiers next on the mound. A 3-game series. The Brewers game 1 coming up next from Miller Park. Great to have you with us. Hope you'll make plans to join us here at Miller Park over the weekend. There's Terry Collins, skipper of the Mets. You see New York 65-78. It has been a rough second half for the Mets. Collins' club was right in it at the All-Star break. But it's been a much different story in half number 2. And they're coming off a homestand where they did not win a game. They were 0-6 on their most recent homestand. First pitch from Mike Fiers. He is up and away for ball one, and away we go tonight. Now the Brewers with a day off yesterday. Not sure the Brewers wanted a day off, playing as well as they have played. They swept the Atlanta Braves, but there were some injured bodies that needed a day off for sure. Ron Renicke's hoping to get his club closer to 100% as we move forward.
Yeah, anytime you play 20 straight games and you play as well as the Brewers did, you always need that day off. A well-timed day off, but you're right, when you're playing as well as the Brewers have been playing, you want to keep going, but I think that day off was very well timed.
Now Mike Fiers next in line. The Brewers push over 500 for the first time since early April with that sweep of the Atlanta Braves. And the Brewers have won 9 straight games here at Miller Park. Here's how the Mets line up. You've met Tejada, Daniel Murphy, and then David Wright. The middle of the order is Davis, Duda, and Valdespin, with Torres, Tolle, and Neese rounding it out. It's a Piggly Wiggly lineup for the New York Mets, as Mike Fiers makes his first ever appearance against the Metropolitans.
Well, Mike Fiers making his 19th start of the year. He's won 3 of his last 4 starts and has a decision in his last 10, going 6-4. He's 4-4 here at Miller Park this year.
Little lazy pop up, and Ricky Weeks will make the play for the out, and out number 1. So Tejada retired, and a good start for Mike Fiers. Here is how the Brewers line up defensively with Braun, Gomez, and Aoki. On infield of Ramirez, Segura, Weeks, and Ishikawa. Jonathan Lucroy does the catching tonight. Menard's Brewers defense. A 4-man umpiring crew in place. Larry Vanover will call the balls and strikes. Jerry Lane, the crew chief. Dan Bellino and Mike Easterbrook on the bases. One gone for Daniel Murphy. Murphy comes in hitting .291. New York's second baseman. He's a hitter first, second base second player for the Mets.
The offense has been the culprit for the Mets in the second half. They have just not been able to score many runs. Did not score many on their last homestand.
Yeah, the Mets scoring just 9 runs total in their 6 games on the homestand. Offense is way down for New York. They've lost 8 of their last 9 ball games. As Murphy takes another one upstairs. 3 balls and a strike on Daniel Murphy. Fiers coming off a win against the Cardinals his last time out. Went 5 innings. Gave up just 1 earned run. He labored through those 5 innings, though. It took him 96 pitches to get through the first 5 innings. As Murphy pulls one foul.
Yeah, but he allowed only 1 run. That was the amazing thing. Men on base just about the entire night, and 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. And kept the ball in the ballpark, obviously. Fiers has not given up a home run in his last 3 starts.
Now, none of the Mets have ever faced Mike Fiers. This will be a new experience for him. As Murphy takes ball 4. That one missed low. And a 1-out walk. So Fiers in his last start, he went 5 innings, gave up just 5 hits. He was able to rack up 5 strikeouts, but he was in a lot of deep counts, Rock, and he ended up walking 3 batters that night.
And while he was in the game, the Cardinals stranded 7 base runners. The only clean inning that he had was the 4th. But once again, as you mentioned, all those base runners and all those pitches, the Cardinals are only able to put 1 run on the board.
There's always a little bit of concern about Fiers and the innings that he has racked up this year. He is in uncharted territory with innings as he deals David Wright strike 1. Fiers began the year in AAA. Arrived to the big leagues in late May. Wright still one of the top hitters in the game. He's hitting .314. He's 5th in all of baseball in on base percentage. He's getting on base at a .401 clip this season. Has 17 home runs, 81 driven in.
And with the way the lineup has struggled this year, this is the one guy that you don't want to have to throw strikes to. If you walk him, so be it. Pit to somebody else, because David Wright is the one consistent bat in his lineup.
0-2 to David Wright, with Murphy at first, and a curveball miss for Fiers. Wright has a ton of doubles this year. He and Aramis Ramirez, two of the big doubles producers in the National League. David Wright is currently third in the National League in doubles with 38. But his power has been a problem lately. Wright has hit just one home run since late July. He has one home run since July 28th. As Lucroy makes a quick trip to the mound.
He's up among league leaders in walks, and I think one of the reasons that his power has been limited. He plays in a huge ballpark, number one. Number two, I don't know if pitchers are willing to throw to him at this point because of the lack of production. Everybody else in the lineup.
Yeah, that's a good point. He is on a 7-game hitting streak, starting play today. As Wright fouls that one away a little bit late on an 89-mile-an-hour fastball. And that is the essence of Mike Fiers. You wonder how hitters could be late on a fastball that is not overpowering. He has terrific breaking stuff, a great curveball, uses his changeup very well. Has had a knack of avoiding the sweet spot of the bat this year. There's a curveball that is ripped to left. Braun will watch that go over his head and off the wall. And the throw comes into third base. David Wright is in with a double. And fortunate for Mike Fiers, that one didn't leave the ballpark.
Yeah, a little bit of a top spin on it, and that kept it in the yard. Hit about midway up on that wall and left. And Fiers hung that one up in the strike zone. Double number 39 for David Wright, who continues to swing the bat well. He hung that one up. I mean, pretty good job of staying back by Wright. You can see the good balance, a little bit out in front, maybe why he had a little bit of an uppercut, had some top spin on it. But the Mets in business, second and third, only one out.
So a walk and a double. Right now second in the league in doubles. He just tied Paul Goldschmidt. And here is Ike Davis. Davis has a low batting average, but he is New York's best home run threat. He has 26 home runs this season. Davis had the day off on Wednesday from the starting lineup. So a couple of days off for Ike Davis, with a team off day yesterday, just like the Brewers.
Impressive power numbers for Ike Davis. He's got those 26 home runs and only 102 hits. About 1 out of every 4 hits for Ike Davis leaves the ballpark.
Davis now in his third year in the big leagues. Had a bad injury last year. And played in just 36 games a season ago. And a career best in home runs and RBIs this season. As he rolls over that one, a foul ball. And the count remains at 0-2. Second and third for the Mets. A walk and a double. Fiers trying to pitch out of some early trouble here tonight. And a fastball high and tight. Fiers doesn't have the strikeout stuff that you would typically call for a strikeout pitcher, but he does rack up the Ks, and he does so with an assortment of pitches. And one of his best weapons is a high fastball that goes in accordance with his terrific curveball.
He keeps the curveball down in the strike zone. He's able to get the fastball up in his zone by hitters. If he doesn't throw the curveball where he wants to, then the fastball becomes very hittable.
Curveball rolled over, a grounder to first. Ishikawa will take it to the bag, but the Mets are on the board. So an RBI for Davis, and it's 1-0 Mets. Davis rolls out 3 unassisted.
And one of the issues that Fiers had in his start against the Cardinals was leaving his curveball up in the zone. He's done that a lot in this inning. With that last curveball, pretty good pitch. Kept that one down, and Ike Davis an easy out at first.
So 2 gone. David Wright advances to third base, and here's Lucas Duda. Well, the Mets thought Duda was a star in the making last year. Big prospect, had a great future. Getting a chance to play every day at the beginning of the season this year, but he was struggling so bad that the Mets actually sent him down. A trip back to the minor leagues this year to get his swing worked out. As Duda takes a strike.
Yeah, big power to all fields. The problem is consistency in making contact for Duda. That's an issue that a lot of big guys have.
Duda still just 26 years of age. And when he went down to the minor leagues, he did swing the bat well down in Buffalo. Had 3 home runs and hit for a .260 average in just 25 games. Put him back in the big leagues as he takes strike 2. But the Mets are counting on Duda to be a middle of the lineup bat for them, a productive bat that can hit 4th or 5th. Today he's hitting 5th in Terry Collins' batting order. 2-2 pitch. And that ball's ripped right field. That is going to one hop out of here. A ground rule double. And an RBI at that for Lucas Duda. And the Mets, a team struggling to score runs, they put a 2 spot on the board in this first inning.
They made a nice adjustment on, looked like a cutter up and in. Duda generally a better low ball hitter. Fiers tried to get him up and in. He put it there, but Duda tomahawks it right down that right field line. There it is. Maybe getting a little bit too much of the play, but not a bad pitch with 2 strikes. Not to a lefty. Certainly don't want to allow their arms to get extended, and he hops one out of here.
So 2 on the board in the first, and Fiers having a rough start to his night as Jordani Valdespin will hit. Valdespin, the Mets right fielder. He's an infielder by trade. Mets are very thin in their outfield depth, so Valdespin has gotten some reps in right field. And he comes in hitting .244. Has 8 home runs and 26 driven in.
And trying to find somebody to provide some offense. Putting infielders in the outfield, just trying to get something going.
This guy's been up and down between the big leagues and the minor leagues 5 different times this year. He has worn out that path between Buffalo and the New York Mets.
A good opportunity for these young guys. Come up and down and try and make your mark. And Mets trying to figure out what they have going into next year. We've been saying that quite a bit lately with teams that the Brewers have been playing. Brewers doing the same thing, but they've been able to win.
3 balls, no strikes. That's amazing where a season can go. You know, the Mets and the Brewers were in about the same position 3 weeks ago. Mets continued to lose. The Brewers got red hot and have now pushed themselves back into a pennant race as Valdespin walks on 4 straight. And Fiers does not look like himself here early, and a quick visit to the mound by Rick Kranitz, the Brewers pitching coach.
And the concerning thing for Fiers is he's having trouble commanding his fastball. Not able to put it where he wants it, missing all over, up, down, in and out. Ordinarily, when that's the issue, you have a mechanical flaw, and perhaps that's what Rick Kranitz is talking about.
I want to apologize for our technical difficulties tonight. We are addressing the problem, trying to get the bugs fixed. Thanks for your patience in the meantime. In full uni up there, Rock. Going old school. Looked like a fantasy camp outfit going on.
There's 8 of them I counted. Maybe the 9th is out getting beverages. Full team up there.
If there's just one missing and he's in, then that would be 8 men out, right?
Good one.
There you go. There's another big group in full uni. There's ball 2. 6 consecutive balls delivered by Fiers. A control pitcher. Not a good sign early. 2 runs are in on 2 hits and a walk. It's been 2 walks in this inning, actually. And a 33 pitch first inning at this point. Little tapper to the mound. Andres Torres is retired, and the inning is over. A rough start for Mike Fiers. As Ron Renicke's club is down 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the first inning. And Renicke's Piggly Wiggly batting order tonight. Aoki leads off, Ricky Weeks, then Ryan Braun. The middle of the order is Aramis Ramirez, Jonathan Lucroy, and Carlos Gomez. Travis Ishikawa, Gene Segura, and Mike Fiers rounded out. And that will be the batting order that faces Jonathan Nice. He's been one of the Mets' best, has gotten very little run support, so the record you have to throw away. He's 10-9, but the ERA is stellar at 3.47.
Yeah, and he's a strike thrower, and the amazing statistic for Nice, you know, the walk totals. Hasn't walked more than 2 batters in 17 straight starts, and that's a New York Mets franchise record. He's been outstanding. The other flip side, he's given up a career high 21 home runs.
And Nice is a ground ball pitcher by trade, or has been. He made his major league debut right here in Milwaukee. That was back in 2008. And he is a stalwart of the rotation now for the Mets, and especially moving forward because Nice just signed a 5-year deal back in April that will keep him in a Mets uniform. And if you're trying to build a rotation, a young left-hander who throws strikes and takes the ball every 5th day is a pretty good place to start. As Aoki lines one to center field, and the Brewers have their leadoff hitter aboard. The Mets defensively, they've been a much better club since the All-Star break. Lucas Duda, Andres Torres, Jordani Valdespin in the outfield. Then you've got David Wright, a Gold Glove third baseman. Tejada and Murphy up the middle with Ike Davis at first. Josh Tolley does the catching. And Nice on the mound, a very athletic pitcher. David Wright having another Gold Glove caliber season this year at third base. And you have a series between Ramirez and Wright, two of the top candidates for that award this year.
David Wright with 10 errors and Aramis Ramirez with 6. Both of them have the offensive credentials to win the award.
Wright already has a Gold Glove. Ramirez does not. Sometimes that matters as well for the voters. Ricky Weeks hitting .230 to start play today. It was Weeks and Ishikawa who had the big games on Wednesday night. Weeks hit a 3-run home run that gave the Brewers the lead. Ishikawa had a 3-run double as part of an 8-run inning for Milwaukee. And Ricky Weeks now on the doorstep of 20, sitting at 19 home runs. That 8-run inning in the 5th inning on Wednesday was one off a season high for the Brewers. They had a 9-run inning against the Cubs, and it was a series full of big innings for Milwaukee. Aoki takes off. Weeks chops it foul.
Yeah, and that 5th inning was the only inning the Brewers scored in that game, so I guess that's all they need. But Ricky Weeks has been outstanding. His last 17 games, not just hitting for average, but power. 6 home runs, 11 RBIs, playing very well defensively, and has been in the middle of a lot of rallies for Milwaukee. Has really stepped it up since being elevated to that number 2 spot in the batting order. Seems very comfortable in that spot. Of course, why wouldn't you? They're hitting in front of Ryan Braun.
You see a lot of strikes in that spot, a lot of fastballs as well when the leadoff hitter reaches, and Aoki has been getting on quite a bit. Ricky Weeks has been a leadoff hitter most of his career. Taken out of that role last year, was back in that role to start this season, before ultimately dropped in the order. After a dismal first half, Weeks has really turned it around, and you got to give him a lot of credit. This is a tough game mentally. Sometimes you get wrapped up in the axle and it's hard to get out of it, but Weeks has been able to pull out of it, and he's been a big part of why the Brewers have made this miraculous comeback. Bouncing ball, chance for 2 here. 4-6-3 double play. And 2 outs with 1 swing of the bat for Jonathan Nice.
Yeah, he talked to the Brewers players, and they'll tell you that there's not too many guys in all of baseball, maybe in all of sports, more mentally tough than Ricky Weeks. I mean, when he first got called up, when he started with Milwaukee, he had a tough time, and fans were giving it to him, but he just kept grinding away and has turned himself into a pretty good second baseman. Having a rough year, but finishing strong.
Routine double play for the Mets. Murphy to Tejada to Davis. And here's Ryan Braun with the bases empty. Well, Braun's been dealing with a right wrist injury. He's been playing through it. But you figure the off day yesterday did him wonders. He said he feels much better today with no baseball activities yesterday whatsoever.
Yeah, different point in the season, or if the Brewers weren't really playing as well as they were playing, he might very well have missed a couple of games, but there's no way Ryan Braun's going to miss games right now.
Well, Ryan Braun checks in with a .310 batting average. That's good enough for 7th in the league. His 38 home runs leads the league, and 100 runs batted in for Ryan Braun. That's second best, trailing Chase Headley of the Padres. And he is among the league leaders in most of the major offensive categories. Braun having an MVP season once again. There's been a lot of debate, a lot of discussion about Ryan Braun and a second MVP award now that the Brewers have played themselves back into a pennant race.
That only bodes well for Ryan. I mean, no longer can you say you're going to give an MVP to a team that's not relevant in September. That's certainly not the case. Numbers speak for themselves.
Full count, 2 outs. And there's ball 4. So Braun draws the walk. And that'll give Aramis Ramirez a swing here in the first inning.
And John Neese, not a guy that's going to overpower anybody. Talk to Johnny Nairn about him and what he tries to do. Fastballs, cut fastballs. He'll throw a curveball once in a while on a changeup. He's going to go right at you with his hard stuff. Fastballs, cutters. He locates them pretty well. And a rare walk for John Neese.
Ramirez continues to roll at the plate. He's hitting .296. 23 home runs. He has 91 runs batted in. He's been a player that is living up to his media guide, the statistics on the back of the baseball card. Pencil him in for 25 to 30 homers every year. 100 runs batted in. He's on a pace to do that once again.
Media guide doesn't lie. That's a that's a great line. First time I heard that, Dale Swaim a couple years ago. A player is what he is, and whether he starts consistent throughout, when you have the years under your belt like Aramis Ramirez, that's pretty much what you're going to get.
We'll see what he's done his last 3 years. How about that for consistency? Last year with the Cubs, he was the Silver Slugger Award winner at third base, given to the best hitting third baseman. 26 homers, 93 driven in. And he's right on that pace. Ramirez is 34 years of age, and I suppose at some point a slow start early is going to continue, and he won't get out of it, but he's just stepping into the prime of his career as he bounces one to short, and the side retired. Brewers get a hit and a walk. They come up empty against Neese in the first. Against Mike Fiers. And Ron Renicky having a chat with Martin Maldonado, hoping Mike Fiers can settle into a groove here. Josh Thole leads off, drops a bunt down, and it will roll foul. Don't see many catchers try to bunt for hits, but Tole's one of those guys who will. Matter of fact, he joins Martin Maldonado as another catcher who likes to bunt for a hit on occasion.
No, just because you're a catcher does not mean you don't know how to bunt. You had Ramirez shaded over toward the hole for the left-handed hitter, and Thole just trying to drop one down that third baseline. Didn't have to be that perfect.
You were a fine bunter in your career, as I recall.
You got to do something right. Not going to be around long.
A swing and a miss. 0-2 the count on Thole.
Every now and again, drop one down. A little tokey. Drop it down the third baseline.
Keep him honest. Might buy a hit through the hole at some point. No balls and 2 strikes on Thole. And a swing and a miss. A fastball right by him. One gone in the second. We check in with Telly Hughes. What do you have, Telly?
Well, Brian, as we all know, the Brewers are looking to tie a franchise record tonight with their 10th straight home win. And I had a chance to talk to Ron Renicky about their home success, and he said this is the reason why they've been put in a position to make a push for the playoffs, because when they were struggling on the road, they knew that they would play well at home, and the two would balance out. So the Brewers have been playing well here at home, but they have also turned things around on the road.
Well, the Brewers came up with a split in Miami and then took 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals on the last road trip. And we'll see what the Brewers have done since June 6th. They are 20 games over 500, the best home record during that stretch.
Yeah, right now it really doesn't matter where they're playing. I mean, they're a good team. They're playing well. All aspects of the game have gone well. Base running, they're stealing bases, hitting homers. Defense has been good. They're the 5th best defense in the National League. But as we know, I mean, it's all about the bullpen. The bullpen's been good, and because of that, they're winning.
I guess it all matters where you get hot. Do you get hot on the road or you get hot at home? The Brewers have won 9 straight home games, and they are now 16 games over 500 at home. As Nice slices one foul. On the road this year, the Brewers are 15 under, and they start a crucial road trip. It'll be the last road trip of the regular season, and it's going to take them to contending teams. Pittsburgh first, then Washington, then Cincinnati. A 3-city road trip that'll cover 10 games. Nice with a base hit to left. The Mets pitcher, who comes in with a 188 batting average, singles to left field for the 3rd hit for the Mets so far. Carsoup.com email the booth question. Rick in Jefferson is asking, which league has the better wild card chase right now, the American or the National? I think the National League is running away with interest. The American League, there's 3 teams in it, 4 probably.
Angels are hanging around.
They're hanging around. One of those teams, Baltimore or New York, will win that division. So the one that doesn't win the division will be in the battle for the wild card. But there's a little bit of space separating them. The Pirates lost today, so the National League just continues to get tighter and tighter.
And the Cardinals are in L.A. for 4 games. That's going to be a very important 4-game series for the St. Louis Cardinals and the Dodgers, for that matter. That's a big one.
Yeah, the Cardinals won last night. They got a terrific pitching performance out of Lance Lynn.
2-1.
And it was Alan Craig who had the game winner against the Brewers last Sunday, who ended up with the game-winning RBI in that game. So the Cardinals have won game 1 of that 4-game series. Tejada pops this one up, and Aoki for out number 2. Also keeping an eye on the Phillies tonight. They are in Houston. They let a lead get away yesterday, and they're back at it early here tonight. Philadelphia getting a home run from Jimmy Rollins. They scored 4 runs in the first inning. Rollins and Utley all getting into the act. Astros have been able to add a run to it. Ryan Howard bangs a one-hopper out. You wonder why the Phillies are playing well. They still have the big 3 on the mound, and they have a healthy Jimmy Rollins and Chase Utley. That ball's hit deep to right, and that one's going to go. Daniel Murphy with a 2-run home run, and the Mets have a 4-0 lead early against Mike Fiers. More 2-out damage done by the Mets.
And the fastball missed his spot, obviously, and Murphy, with only 5 home runs coming in, able to knock that one out of here. Second deck out there in right, out in the Miller Lite beer pen. You saw Lucroy reach. It was supposed to be away, ended up middle in, and Mike Fiers not going to get that one back. Fastball command not very good right now.
And the Brewers digging themselves a deeper hole here, down 4-0 as David Wright takes a ball inside. Murphy doesn't hit many. That's only his 6th of the season, but there was no doubt about that one.
The Pirates had gone 4 or 3 starts without giving up a home run. But his last 2 starts, the walks have been up. He's walked a combined 7 batters in his last 2 starts before tonight, which is very unusual for him.
David Wright into right field. Playable for Aoki. And the side is retired, but the Mets put 2 more on the board. 4-0 New York as we head to the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Game. We'll get an Aramis Ramirez bobblehead courtesy of Wild Impact Marketing. For tickets, call 414-902-4000. Visit Brewers.com. Expected to be beautiful here tomorrow for the ball game. Or I should say Sunday.
Yeah, no Packers on Sunday either. Packers winning last night, so love to see you here at the ballpark. I know the players talking today about how great the energy is in this ballpark, the atmosphere. And hoping for a sellout this weekend.
Yeah, Brewers going to be gone for 10 days.
Well, a big crowd held quiet so far tonight, as the Mets have put 2 runs on the board in each of the first 2 innings. And 3 of the 4 runs that have scored have come with 2-out hits. Jonathan Lucroy leads off, hitting .322 to start play today. Has 9 home runs, 50 driven in. Missed 2 months of the season with a fractured right hand. And he started to get his swing back together. 2 balls and a strike. And Lucroy bangs one through, a base hit. So Jonathan Lucroy with the 2nd Brewers hit. It leads off the 2nd inning.
Lucroy starting to look inside a little bit more. He did that in that recently completed series against the Braves. Got a couple of fastballs, banged him in the left, and just out of the reach of Tejada, it's short. Lucroy ordinarily likes to shoot that ball into center field, but he's getting pitched in, so pull it to left.
Now the Brewers have had leadoff singles in each of the first 2 innings. Neese got a double play ball last inning to wipe out that leadoff runner. We'll see how the Brewers go here tonight. Carlos Gomez, the former Met. Good to see him back in the starting lineup tonight. Gomez left Wednesday's game with an injury just above his knee. It was a lower quad contusion officially.
He got that trying to break up a double play.
Gomez cannot check his swing. Well, on Wednesday, Gomez breaking up a double play with Giannis covering, and knee to knee it went.
Right there, right on the meat above the knee and the right knee, and he had to leave the game, but he's back.
Little flare, and that is going to fall for a base hit. Lucroy hustling to second will make it. A knuckle buster that finds green grass in shallow right field.
Yep, on a 0-2 pitch. Really trying to bust Carlos Gomez inside. He got it in there, not enough, but Gomez strong enough, a big enough swing to muscle it out there into right field. Murphy, it looked like crazy looking play because he actually pulled the glove back a little bit as he got there. Not sure why he did that.
Yeah, Lucroy was in no man's land, and I think once he pulled the glove back, Lucroy was able to read it a little better. He took off, and that might have been what allowed him to make it to second base.
I wonder what would have happened if he kept that glove out and kept running.
Here's Ishikawa now. Swing and a miss. Let's take another look here.
Check him out as he gets out there. Kind of just pulls the glove back. Not sure what he saw or what he was trying to do.
Ishikawa facing another left-hander. Isn't it ironic that the moment Corey Hart goes down with an injury, the Brewers are facing all of these left-handed starting pitchers,
right,
forcing Ishikawa to match up against the lefties. But you got to give him credit. He has swung the bat well against these left-handers. He had a big hit on Wednesday night against Paul Maholm, a 3 RBI double that broke the game open.
And Mike Minor, a left-hander, started in that Braves series. You had Maholm and now John Neese. Done a very good job at the plate as a starter. Hitting over 300.
Lays off a tough pitch. 2-2 on Ishikawa. Tonight, Ishikawa making his 22nd start. And in those 21 previous starts, a .309 batting average, 4 home runs, 16 runs batted in. And he gets the playing time as Corey Hart sits. 2 on, nobody out. Ishikawa flares one foul. You might remember Ishikawa had a big moment against the New York Mets back in May. He got a start. He went 3 for 4, hit a couple of home runs. Drove in 5 RBIs. Ishikawa has just 4 home runs all year. 2 of them came in the same game against the Mets on May 15th.
And not an easy ballpark to hit opposite field home runs.
.324 hitter with runners in scoring position. A foul tip in and out of the mid of Tolley. Ishikawa's big hit on Wednesday came against a breaking ball from Maholm. He stayed right back on it and whistled it over the head of Jason Hayward and off the fence in deep right center.
Yeah, the base is loaded.
That ball's hit pretty well. Left field on the run is Duda. Can't get it. And this one will bounce out, which is going to cost the Brewers a run. Gomez was trying to catch Lucroy, literally trying to catch him just for the fun of it. And they'll have to send Gomez back to third base. It's an RBI double for Ishikawa, and he stays hot.
Yep, on a looked like a cut fastball away from him. He just drives it out there into left field. Duda, not the greatest of defensive players in the outfield. That wasn't a bad pitch either. Down and away. Ishikawa drops the head of the bat on it. Nice easy swing. Just trying to make contact. And the Brewers on the board. Nice job by Ishikawa taking it to left.
Well, a good start to the inning. 3 straight hits. A run is in. Second and third for Gene Segura. And a slow roller. Nice has it, throw to third. Now they've got Gomez in a rundown. Gomez tagged out. So the first out of the inning. I told you Nice is an excellent fielder. He's a terrific athlete, and he made a nice stab on that ground ball.
Yeah, but Gomez did a nice job. I mean, staying in the rundown long enough, allowing Ishikawa to get to third, and Segura with good base running gets to second, so no harm, no foul. Would have been an out somewhere. Gomez trying to get a good break. He realized it right away, but too late. And stays in the pickle long enough. That has David Wright tag him as he's heading toward home, and both runners able to advance. Good job.
So here is Fiers now, the Brewers pitcher, who had an RBI single in his last game against the Cardinals, his first major league run batted in. He's just 2 for 28 at the plate this year. You wonder if Renicky might put a bunt on here, might put a squeeze on. Fiers swings away, little flare, that's going to fall, a base hit. And in to score Ishikawa. Look at Mike Fiers, a run-producing machine lately.
Fired up. A little jam shot. And Nice tried to come in on him, and Mike Fiers able to fist one out in the right field. A bit of a fist pump from Mike. Yeah, the cut fastball, he left it out over the plate a little bit. Nothing really hit all that hard except for that Ishikawa base hit. And Travis able to score. Segura at third base.
4-2 Mets as Mike Fiers delivers his second career major league RBI. Does it in back-to-back games. Dan Warthen, the Mets pitching coach, out to have a word with Nice. Segura with great speed at third base. And Fiers at first. Obviously he hasn't been on much. Bit of a liability on the base paths.
And he doesn't have great speed or very good instincts out there. So station to station, Mike.
First and third, one out for Aoki.
But you don't expect him to over at first base, right?
He's a pitcher.
Right. He isn't on first base all that often.
The RBI's gravy enough. Aoki stepped out. He asked for time. That doesn't mean you're granted time. He stepped out and
pitch counted.
Should be 1-1. And now Aoki wants to make sure. Yep. 1-1, says Larry Vanover, in any language. Ball and 2 strikes on Aoki. He had a single in the first. He ripped one back up the middle. And a little bouncer, backhanded by Wright, throw to the plate, and it is in time for the out.
A nice throw by David Wright. You can see why he's a Gold Glover. Got it on the backhand. Good jump from Segura, who's got great speed. Off and running right away. A sidearm toss right on the money to Josh Tolle, and Segura's an out at home plate. That was a nice throw.
Yeah, Segura runs well. He got a great break, but an excellent play, and they just got him. So 2 men are out, and here is Ricky Weeks. 4-2 Mets. Brewers have scored twice in this inning as Weeks takes a strike. Segura has to run on that ground ball. You have to stay out of a double play. So your instincts are to take off with the ball on the ground like that.
And it took a perfect throw, and that's what David Wright gave to his catcher. A perfect throw.
2 on 4 weeks. Got Fires at second now with Aoki at first. Ricky down in the count 0-2. He bounced into a double play his first time up. High and tight. Buzz the tower does Jonathan Neese. It's 1-2.
And he likes to come inside. I mean, not just for effect, but he throws strikes in there. Left a couple of them out over the plate in this inning.
Weeks had a 3-run home run on Wednesday. Gave the Brewers a lead at the time. A long ball here will give Milwaukee the lead. One ball, 2 strikes, and Weeks takes a called strike 3 outside corner. And the inning ends, but the Brewers score twice. 4-2 Mets. Lucroy started it with a single. Got RBIs from Ishikawa. And Mike Fires, the pitcher. Is presented by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. Back at Miller Park, Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder. You know us, and you're soon to know this man right here, Hunter Morris, the Brewers minor league player of the year. He was the MVP of the Southern League, played all year in Huntsville. And welcome to Milwaukee. Welcome to the booth. We saw your name pop up on the draft board a couple of seasons ago, and you're now on the doorstep of the big leagues. Congratulations on a great season.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me tonight.
Tell us about your season in Huntsville. Looked like you got off to a great start and kept it that way.
You know, it was one of those things. I felt like I was able to stay consistent, you know, pretty much the whole year, which is kind of where I'd struggled the last couple of years. Is, you know, have a stretch where I swing it really well, and then have a 2-week slide where, you know, it just kind of all falls apart, and then I got to try to figure it out again. Didn't really have that problem this year. You know, stayed consistent and kind of accumulated into a great year.
Let me give you some of the numbers here. 303 average, 28 home runs, 113 runs batted in, and played an excellent first base as well. Had just 6 errors all season. Have you played any other positions other than first base, or is that where you've been your whole career?
I'd say probably 95% of my games have been played at first base. Played a little bit of left, a couple of games in right, and a little bit of third base over the last couple of years, but that's about it.
Yeah, good pop, good batting average, big RBIs. What possesses a guy to have those kind of numbers? MVP. to continue to play in the Arizona Fall League. I mean, maybe a little bit of rest might be in order. Tell us about that.
There's always things to work on. And with the adjustments that I was able to make defensively this year, I think it's important for me to go and continue working on, that part of my game as much as the offense. The competition out there is second to none, and certainly can use the at-bats against that quality of pitching. Anytime I can get it, I'm all for it.
Hey, we talk to a lot of the folks, Doug Melvin, and the thing that impressed them the most about you this year was certainly the offense, but the way you improved and how hard you worked on your defense over at first base.
It was a everyday thing. I think out of the 140 games that we played this year, probably 130 of those days at least, I was out, for early work, if for nothing else but defense, and that's where my focus was as far as trying to make a big jump. Again, I think offensively, the glimpses had been there the last couple of years, just a matter of staying consistent. I think that comes with the maturity and just the seasoning of the minor leagues. But defense was something I needed to make a quick adjustment on.
And that's not easy to do. I mean, that's boring work, right? I mean, taking BP, that's a lot of fun, but taking ground balls day in and day out, that's...
Well, it got to be fun.
Right.
It was one of those things where once I got comfortable with the fundamentals of it and start making the routine plays, and I could start challenging myself, be like, okay, let's start trying to, show off a little bit. Let's try to make it more fun and, a little more flashy here and there. And then once it got back to game time, tone it down and just make the routine play.
Visiting with Hunter Morris out of Auburn, War Eagle. 2010 draft pick, and went to single A, went to the Midwest League last year in Brevard County in the Florida State League, and then this year in Double A at the high level. You start to get to Double A and Triple A, then that puts you on the doorstep. And I know you're certainly looking at that picture as every minor league player does, and as you try to put it out of your mind, but you put up numbers like that and you do it at a high level, it has to cross your mind. How do you avoid falling into that trap?
Everybody just the last month or so of the season was asking me, are you going to get called up? You're going to end up in Milwaukee? You're going to do this or that? And that's not what I'm. That's not my focus. My job is to go out and play and continue to work hard and let the rest of it take care of itself. I can control how I work and how I play, and the rest of it is just a matter of time.
Cool story for Hunter. He played his entire season in Huntsville, and you're from Huntsville, so you actually got to play at home this year. Your wife, your child, and tell us about that story. You actually stayed in the house you grew up in, is that correct?
My parents moved to Huntsville probably 25, 26 years ago. The first house that they lived in, they ended up buying, have owned it since then, and lived there till I was about 6 months old. House that they brought me home from the hospital to. Lived there till I was about 6 months. Moved across the street. Lived there for about 8 years, so that was the neighborhood I kind of grew up in. And then they moved a couple miles up the road, and it all came full circle. And my wife and I ended up moving into the house that I came home from the hospital to.
That's very cool.
Do you have any family members in Nashville, perhaps? Maybe you can move
make
in.
Make it comfortable,
Yeah. No, but it's funny. One of my best friends, my roommate in college, and one of my groomsmen in my wedding, actually works for Dollar General in their corporate office up in Goodlettsville, Tennessee, right outside of Nashville. So
you're superstitious.
I told him I actually took the couch that's in his living room up there for him after he moved in. So in return, when I get there, he'll have to let me sleep on it.
Got to have that connection, that comfort level at home.
Runner goes. Lucroy's throw right on the bag. Caught stealing. And that ends the inning, and Hunter Morris has been our guest. Great season, man. It's great getting to know you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Congratulations. We'll see you up here quick.
Yeah, we'll see you this spring as Hunter Morris is headed to the Fall League in Arizona. You can check him out. Check out his numbers online. Big year in Double A. the day. And we go from the player of the year in the minor leagues to the pitcher of the year. 25-year-old Hiram Burgos. What a great year. A 10-win season. This guy started the year in A-ball, ends up in AA, and then finally in AAA, and you just kept winning wherever you went. And what an honor to win the pitcher of the year in the Brewers system. Congratulations. Tell us what do you think about the season that you've just put together?
It was it's a great honor. And it's unbelievable season. And I'm happy for thanks God that kept me healthy through the whole year and helped me put all those numbers. And I gotta keep working hard and throwing everything for a strike and get people out.
What kind of pitches were you throwing this year? It looked like you had a couple of curveballs there, some changeups, so kind of a mix and match, everything.
Yeah, I throw a fastball, cutter, curveball, and changeup.
So you had Fred Dabney as your pitching coach in AAA. We've seen Fred quite a bit in spring training.
Yes.
Talk about Fred a little bit.
Oh, great guy. Actually helped me a lot. Last year I had him in high A, so we worked together last year, and he's always trying to get all the guys to get better, and he's a hard worker. And this year I had the chance to see him at least for 1 month over there in Nashville. So it's great. And I think Mark Dewey in high A this year, and then Chris Hook in AA. So every time you take a little bit from each one and put everything together and to help you out, and the pitching wise.
10 wins this year through 3 levels of the Brewers system. And take us through every call up. When you got the call to go from Brevard County to Huntsville, and then from Huntsville to Nashville, what were those moments like when you kept advancing?
Well, it's fun because I guess when you keep moving up, you're doing something right, and that's how I felt. It's the same baseball. I always say that it's the same baseball no matter where you're at. You're here, you're in other state, you're in Puerto Rico. It's the same baseball. So I was trying to just move up, and then I had some goals on my mind set up, and I guess I passed all of them. I keep putting goals on my mind, and setting goals, and if we keep going through it, we're gonna try to just, here.
Yeah, get to the big leagues.
Get to the big leagues.
It's everybody's goal.
Yeah. What are your thoughts being here? I saw you before the game during batting practice. A lot of the guys on the Brewers right now. A lot of young players come up. How does that inspire you going forward?
It feels great. Seeing all those guys that I know, and they're here, and at the same time, it's a motivation for me, and I know I can be here soon. And those guys are great, and they treat me like professional, and this is a job. After that, we're friends. So yeah, I know a lot of those guys. We play together in lowest level, and then I saw them in spring training. So we always make a good relationship.
Well, Hiram is from Puerto Rico, and I understand you've been throwing. You're continuing your throwing program. Now, you threw a lot of innings this year. Tell us about why you're continuing to throw. I mean, is there a chance that the Brewers could call on you, or are you just staying sharp just to stay sharp for some reason?
Actually, I always have a good work ethic. I keep working hard. And right now, I was down there in Arizona working out and throwing my bullpens. And I threw a live VP too, so staying ready. I think tomorrow we're gonna throw a bullpen section here during batting practice. So I gotta keep, stay ready.
Keep going.
Anything happens, I gotta stay ready.
Well, we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thanks for joining us, Hiram.
Thank you.
Congratulations on a great year.
Thank you.
Hiram Burgos. scoreless inning of the night. A lot of offense early in this one. The Mets scoring a pair of runs in the first 2 innings. The Brewers scored twice in the second. Fiers had something to do with that. He had an RBI single in that inning. So 4-2 Milwaukee as we head to the 4th inning now. The Mets are coming up. Andres Torres will lead off. The 3rd inning for the Mets ended with a caught stealing. Torres was at the plate. So he leads off. Bottom 3 of the order coming up. That's good to catch up with Hiram Burgos and Hunter Morris. Good to finally put the faces with the names. You know, those are the 2 names that keep coming up. Seems like week after week with great performances down in the minor leagues. Burgos going through all 3 levels, single A, double A, and triple A. And Hunter Morris just had a huge season in double A Huntsville this year. He actually made a bid at a triple crown in the Southern League this season.
And neither one of them very complacent, are they? I mean, both of them. I mean, Burgos still pitching. You've got Hunter Morris going down to the Arizona Fall. Well, I tell you, if I had a year like that, I'd be sitting back enjoying it for a little while anyway. Right. I mean, you talk about focused. I mean, these guys, they want that brass ring, and that's the big leagues. Pitching here at Miller Park.
Those are 2 guys we're going to see next spring for sure. I mean, they'll be in Major League camp, and certainly after the years they posted, they'll have a chance. We could see them in Milwaukee next year. And the way Hiram Burgos is talking, as Torres rolls one just past the bag at first. Fortunate that didn't hit the base. And there is out number 1. Now to check the pulse of social media, we hear from Sophia Minard. How you doing tonight, Sophia?
Great, guys. One of the bright spots for the Brewers this season has been the emergence of Nori Aoki. He's currently on a 5-game hitting streak, and we saw some tremendous defensive plays by him in the Braves series. So our question for fans tonight is, has Aoki been more valuable to the Brewers at the plate or in the outfield? You can tweet us at FS Wisconsin with the hashtag Aoki. And guys, one thing to keep an eye on is that Aoki has never played more than 144 games in a season. Tonight marks game 144 of the Brewers season.
Yeah, and that's interesting because in Japan, 144 is the max. And, you know, Aoki says he's feeling strong. His numbers prove it. You know, I thought he went through a little spell there on the last road trip where he struggled a little bit. His bat got a little heavy, but then all of a sudden he started to hit the ball with some power. Sophia brings up a good point as we put this out to you today at FS Wisconsin. I think from now on, the next 19 games are going to be very interesting to watch, see how he holds up in this major league schedule.
Well, he's done a nice job. I mean, in 4 games here on the homestand, he's been on 6 times. He's made some great throws from the outfield, and doesn't appear like he's tiring at all. I agree with you. There was a stretch about, you know, maybe 3 weeks ago where he was a little bit gassed. He slow bat, but he has certainly turned things around. That's for sure.
Well, Aoki has a hit tonight. So let us know what you think. You can tweet us back at FS Wisconsin. Bouncing ball out to second base, and Josh Tolley is retired. 2 up and 2 down here in the New York Mets 4th inning. AT&T trivia question tonight. Who was the only Brewers pitcher in the 90s to be named to the All-Star game?
I know that one.
Do you?
He's in the ballpark.
You lived it.
No, actually, yeah, I did.
At least some of it.
Not on the field. In the booth.
That's a good question. The Brewers didn't have much pitching in the 90s.
No.
No all-star caliber pitching anyway, except for this one gentleman.
There wasn't much going on for the Brewers back in those days.
My, how times have changed. Here we are in front of about 35,000, maybe 40,000 tonight. Back in a pennant race in a beautiful ballpark. And Mike Fiers retires the side in order. So 2 scoreless for Fiers, 4-2 Mets. the Mets off to a fast start. Got a couple of RBIs from Davis and Duda, and then it was a 2-run home run by Daniel Murphy, gave him a 4-0 lead. Brewers came back in the bottom of the second. Travis Ishikawa stays hot. He drove in 1 with a double. They sent Gomez back, but then Fiers brought him in with a single to right. And the Brewers were able to score twice in the second inning. 4-2 is our score. The Mets have the lead. Murphy's home run the difference right now. 3 of the 4 Mets runs have come with 2 outs. Mike Fiers seems to have settled down. He has 2 scoreless. He's punched out 3 so far. And here we go to the bottom of the 4th with Carlos Gomez leading off. Gomez single to right. Just got a jam shot that he dumped into right field his first time up. That was back in the second inning. Drafted, or rather signed and developed by the Mets. It was part of that big trade that brought Johan Santana to New York from Minnesota. Gomez went to the Twins for a couple of seasons and then eventually a Milwaukee Brewer in his 3rd season with the Brew Crew. And he's having his best season. This is the kind of player the Mets always thought he could be, a speed power type hitter. Although Gomez will tell you the Mets and the Twins tried to take some of the power game away from him as he swings and misses, and down he goes on strikes. Lease picks up his 3rd strikeout. Now don't forget, tomorrow the battle for baseball's postseason heats up. It's the Rays and the Yankees, both teams fighting for the wild card title, the AL East title. Fox Saturday Baseball returns tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Central. Well, that is a very good race going on. The wild card races are fantastic. And the best division race going on in baseball right now is in the American League East with the Orioles, who won in walk-off fashion yesterday, tied with the New York Yankees.
Yeah, all the divisional races are pretty much over in the National League with the Nationals, Cincinnati, and San Francisco. But the American League pretty tight.
All 3 races are still up for grabs. Got the White Sox and the Tigers duking it out for the Central Division title. Sox are in Minnesota tonight, while the Tigers are in Cleveland and they have a lead. Matter of fact, Detroit up 4-0 with Justin Verlander on the mound. Rays lead the Yankees 4-2 in the 7th inning. Baltimore is out west tonight. They'll play Oakland a little bit later.
Baltimore 19 games over 500. They're having a great year.
Ishikawa rips one to first right at Ike Davis for out number 2.
Hey, come out to Miller Park and cheer on the Brew Crew as they take on the New York Mets this weekend. Good seats are still available, and I mean good seats. You know, seats that ordinarily are not available in the ballpark. They are available, so come on out.
In every section.
Right. Call 414-902-4000 or visit Brewers.com and let baseball know that the Brewers are in a pennant race, or at least a wild card race.
Amen. Well said, Rock. They're expecting good crowds already. I was visiting with Tyler Barnes before the game today, and Tyler said they're expecting good crowds Saturday and Sunday, but we'd like to take those crowds from know the 35,000 range, which is outstanding, up to a sellout to really get Miller Park jumping for the weekend. And the Packers played yesterday, so they're not in action on Sunday. Got the Aramis Ramirez bobblehead day Sunday, the all-fan giveaway. Come out and join us. We'd love to have you here. And
not many home games left for Milwaukee.
Great crowd on hand tonight. The Brewers have just one more homestand after Sunday. Just 6 more games. The Padres and the Astros will be the next team in. Gene Segura with 2 away. If nothing else, trying to clear the pitcher spot in this inning. Segura played with both Hunter Morris and Hiram Burgos this year. Well, they were all at Double-A Huntsville at one time. Has to be something for those two guys to look out there and see guys they know, they played with, performing well at the major league level. Sure that lights a fire. Slow roller. Here's David Wright, and he makes the play to end the inning. 3 up and 3 down for Jonathan Neese. Still 4-2. The Mets have the lead. We head to the 5th inning from Miller Park. Nice play by Wright.
Inning, and tonight's time of the game winner, Rusty's Backwater Saloon in Stevens Point. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
5th inning from Miller Park. Brewers Mets tonight. Game 1 of this 3-game series. Brewers coming off a sweep of the Atlanta Braves. The Braves swept the Mets prior to coming to Milwaukee. And then the Mets kept on losing. As a matter of fact, the Mets have dropped 8 of their last 9. They've lost 6 straight. Lost all 6 games on their homestand. A team that was 4.5 back of the division lead at the All-Star break. They were right in the picture. Tejada swings and lines one to Braun for out number 1. Let's take a look at our Jimmy John's high-speed delivery. Jonathan Neese, the left-hander, topping out at 93, fires at 90. It's about where he normally is.
90, 91. He's pretty much been all year. He cutters at about 88. It's all about the curveball, though, for Mike Fiers. He's starting to throw much better. The last couple innings, last 3.
There's a good hook in there for a strike. Daniel Murphy hit a 2-run homer in the 2nd, and that's the difference in the game right now. Came with 2 outs. Right off the end of the bat, Weeks backhands one second baseman to another. 2 up and 2 down for Mike Fiers.
Hey, come out to Miller Park on Sunday, September 30th, as the Brewers take on the Astros. Everyone's a winner, as all fans in attendance receive a scratch-off card revealing great prizes. Visit Brewers.com/fan appreciation for details.
2 outs for David Wright, who doubled and scored in the 1st inning. There's a curveball for a strike. With the 4 runs tonight, the Mets have scored more runs than any of their previous 6 games. The most they've scored in any of those games was 3 runs. Scored just 9 runs in a 6-game homestand. This is a team that is scuffling offensively, and the Brewers are hoping to keep it that way until they leave town Sunday. Did he go? They'll ask. No, he didn't, says the crew chief Jerry Lane. Wright doubled off the wall back in the first, pulled one into left field. And he rips that one down the left field line. That is fair. That's going to get into the corner as David Wright with his second double of the night.
Man, might want to think about something else. David Wright, 2 base hits, both coming on curveballs. And just sitting back and just hammering that curveball down the left field line. He hammered one in the first inning off the left field fence. Check it out. Apparently looking for it. It was down, but it was in. That's not where Fiers wanted it. Well, he looked like he was sitting on that pitch and hammers it down the line and left. 2 doubles on curveballs. He got an out on a fastball.
Fiers with 2 outs tonight has given up 4 hits and a walk. Extending innings, and the Mets able to score 3 runs of their 4 with 2 outs. Mike Davis, he drove in a run with a ground out in the first inning. He's 0 for 2. And a swing and a foul tip right into the mid of Lucroy, and it's 0-2 on Davis. Davis had a brutal ankle injury last year. Played in all but 36 games. It was reported this spring that he had contracted valley fever. But if he did, it didn't have the effect on him that it had on Connor Jackson and some other athletes who have gotten valley fever. He's been able to play most of the year. That's a very scary illness.
That's a serious thing. It is.
There's an NBA player by the name of Johnny Moore, basically ended his career in the NBA. Davis seems like he's all right. The 1-2 pitch in the dirt, blocked by Lucroy. Mets were always hopeful to get Davis back last year. They kept waiting and waiting and thought it was going to be, you know, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks with that ankle injury, but he never could return to the field. Terry Collins has dealt with injuries. He's dealt with poor production. Obviously, he's had to navigate a pitching staff around an injured Johan Santana, who threw a no-hitter this year. He's on the disabled list. Santana, he's out for the season.
It makes it tough when you're not scoring runs and a lot of your pitching gets hurt. The guys aren't getting it done. A lot of young pitchers on this starting rotation for the Mets right now.
There's a strike called as Fiers rings the bell on Ike Davis. And the inning is over. The Mets strand a runner at second. Still 4-2 New York. Ron Renicky has seen his club come halfway back. They have scored twice. They scored 2 in the bottom of the second. And a 4-2 Mets lead as we head to the home fifth. It'll be Jeff Bianchi to lead off. He'll hit for Mike Fiers. And he drops a bunt down foul. So Fiers is done after 5 innings. Fiers able to rally though, Rock. He gives up 4 runs in the first 2 and then post 3 scoreless frames.
Yeah, nice comeback. Really was. It's kind of what he did. It's kind of what he did in that Cardinals game where he kind of struggled. He only gave up the 1 run, but struggled and started to get his stuff back.
Well, now we'll see if the Brewers can come back and cover him tonight. If nothing else, he gives Renicky some innings and allows him. Not that Renicky doesn't have plenty of relievers available, but anytime a starter can, take you through the middle innings or take you to the middle innings, you still feel pretty good about it. I think Renicky likes where his club is right now as far as the days off go. He has plenty of arms down there, and then the Brewers have a day off on Monday as Bianchi strikes out for the first out of the inning. Our AT&T trivia question, we have the answer for you as well. Who was the only Brewers pitcher in the 90s to be an all-star? And if you guess Ricky Bones, then you're dialed in. 1994, he was an all-star, the year the World Series was canceled. Bones now the bullpen coach here with the New York Mets.
Yep. Yeah, Ricky, a controlled pitcher, didn't throw hard. Spotted the fastball, kept the curveball down. Occasional changeup. How was that for a scouting report on Ricky Bones?
Nice. Bringing that one out from the old school. What was that, the MSC days?
I think so.
But forever known as an all-star. And like Hiram Burgos, he's from Puerto Rico.
And Ricky, in his days with the Brewers, he actually resided in Milwaukee. He stayed here all year round.
That was early in his career. He was here from 92 to 96. Ended up pitching for the Yankees. Never pitched for the Mets, but he's here as the bullpen coach.
You can always tell the coaches out there, they're the ones with the pens and the watches on.
Josh Tolley takes a poorly placed foul ball from Nori Aoki. He's going to need a minute.
Yeah. Now, when you get one there, it's almost like dinner's going to come up at any time. Just trying to give him a second to make sure he's going to be all right.
Time heals all wounds. So they say. Speaking of contact sports, this week on Fox NFL Sunday, the Vikings head to Indianapolis. They're taking on Andrew Luck and the Colts. Coverage begins this week with the Built for Tough Fox NFL Sunday pregame show at 11 a.m. Central. There's no real easy segue from Josh Tolley to the NFL.
Yeah.
But it does give him a little bit of time. So he's back, perhaps a little gun shy, but he's ready to roll. 2-2 to Aoki. Nori Aoki 1 for 2 tonight. And that one just missed. He's working quickly. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Slow roller out to Murphy. And he makes the play. 2 up and 2 down for Nice. That'll bring up Ricky Weeks now. And we check his Powerball home run count against Paul Mahalam on Wednesday. His 19th home run of the year. And it gave the Brewers a 3-2 lead at that time. That started an 8-run inning. Powerball home run leaderboard. You see Weeks right behind Ramirez. Corey Hart with 27. Has not played on this homestand. And Ryan Braun leads the league with 38.
Yeah, Brewers lead the National League in home runs with 180 home runs right now. Next closest team, oddly enough, the Washington Nationals at 171.
That's saying something in their ballpark. Adam LaRoche is having a great year.
Only one team or two teams in the National League that do not have 100 home runs. Dodgers only have 95. And you know the other? The Giants.
How about that?
87 home runs.
I wouldn't have guessed the Giants. But you think about it, pitcher-friendly ballpark. Don't have the big home run hitter in their batting order other than Buster Posey. That one's in for a strike. 2-2 on Ricky Weeks. He's starting to dial it in a little bit. He's retired 7 in a row. It would be 10 in a row without an error on the shortstop Tejada as Weeks lays off, and another 3-2 count. Back-to-back full counts for Nice. His pitch count at 81 right now. He's typically a 6-7 inning pitcher. You don't see the Mets extend him past that. And he walks him, so Ricky Weeks draws a walk, which will give Ryan Braun a swing here in this 5th inning, representing the tying run. So team home runs, the Brewers with 180. They certainly have a chance to push over that 200 mark once again. You've got 19 games left, including tonight. And the record doesn't lie. 61-32 when they hit a homer. Just 11-39 without one. Somebody needs to go deep here tonight.
It's early yet.
Ryan Braun has a walk, and he reached on an error in the 3rd inning. And a swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes.
One of the few curveballs that Nice has thrown. Takes a lot off of that pitch. Big looping curveball, and Ryan just not able to wait back.
Braun into right field. A liner right to Valdespin, who was playing deep. He hit it hard, but nothing to show for it. Another scoreless inning for Jonathan Nice. the Braves, Chris Medlin. And he's been outstanding. He has been a godsend for the Atlanta Braves. He's back at it here tonight. Striking them out like crazy tonight. The Brewers fortunate that they missed Medlin. Bryce Harper had a home run for the Washington Nationals.
He's starting to swing the bat again.
That game's all tied at 1. As Bryce Harper bangs out number 19 on the season. You see the Nationals with an 8.5 game lead over Atlanta. Medlin has 13 strikeouts tonight in 7 innings. He's walked just 1. That's a tight one at Turner Field. 1-1. We'll keep an eye on that game for you. Pirates already lost today. Cubs beat them. Brewers have a chance to overtake the Pirates in the division with a victory here tonight as Manny Parra will take over.
It's been a while for Manny. Last Sunday against the St. Louis Cardinals. A lot of lefties in the lineup tonight for the Mets. 7 of them, including the pitcher and a switch hitter. And you've got some lefties coming up in this inning.
Getting into a string of lefties with Duda and Valdespin. Andres Torres is a switch hitter. Josh Tolley. So Manny Parra's inning. Well, the Brewers been on this hot streak. They've won 18 of their last 23 games. 18-5 record. Remember that great streak the Brewers went on last year at the end of July and through the end of August. And this stretch feels very similar. The Brewers during that stretch last season that gave them some distance for the division title. That was a 32 game stretch. The Brewers were 27-5. Three and 1 to Duda. Brewers trying to win their 10th consecutive home game tonight. They have moved 3.5 back in the wild card race to the second wild card spot, but just 3 back in the loss column to the Cardinals. Duda into right center, long run. Carlos Gomez looks up, and that one is gone. A home run for Duda. And it's 5-2 Mets.
And when Manny Parra gets behind in the count, that's when he gives up a lot of the damage that he allows. Well, he gets ahead. He throws a splitter, a fastball to Duda. Left-hander versus left-hander, knocks it out of here into right center field. More than any other Brewers pitcher, pitching behind in the count, not good for Manny. Fastball down the middle.
14th big league home run this year for Duda. He has 2 ribbies tonight. A double and an RBI back in the first, and now a home run. And here's Jordani Valdespin. Two balls, no strikes. The Phillies have a 7-3 lead over the Astros. Phillies let one get away last night. They let Houston 4-0, and the Astros rallied. Dropped the Phillies a half game behind the Brewers. Philadelphia is an even 500, 72-72. Milwaukee 72-71. 1 game over starting play tonight.
Yeah, Phillies on just as good a run as the Brewers have been on.
Now that loss last night snapped a 7-game win streak. That one's in there for a strike. 2-2 on Valdespin. Be West Coast baseball watching tonight. Cardinals Dodgers a little later. Former Brewer Chris Capuano will match up against Joe Kelly of the Cardinals. Into foul territory, Ramirez for the out. First out of the inning for Manny Parra. The Packers eased into the minds of their fans by getting their first win of the season Thursday night, thanks in part to a great game from Clay Matthews. You can read Paul Emmons' report card and other analysis from the game at foxsportswisconsin.com. Flashing the guns last night. Did you see that?
Yes, he was.
Wow, that was impressive.
Fired arms like that, I wouldn't wear sleeves either.
Bouncer foul past third. Torres just missed an extra base hit.
Doesn't look as intimidating sitting there. But he's not trying to be. I mean, I wouldn't go there and start riling them up.
I mean, you don't want to go,
Looks pretty relaxed.
Slow roll to short. Segura's got to hurry and a high throw, but Ishikawa pulled off the bag.
Yeah, Segura knew he had to be quick with it. Torres gets down the line pretty good. Came in hard, made the transfer just a little bit high. He is going at full speed, a little bit of a high throw, and you can see the toe. Good call over there by Jerry Lane, foot off the bag. And that'll be an error.
Yeah, these 6 on Segura.
Yeah, good throw, and Torres clearly out.
So a runner at first with 1 away. Here's Josh Tolley. At the pitcher spot coming up next. Tolley's 0 for 2. Paracadew's a ground ball. Brewers look to turn 2 to get out of this inning.
Torres is a guy that will steal some bases. He's got 11 this year. It's not many, but the Mets don't run much. David Wright leads the team in stolen bases with 14.
Only the Pirates have fewer stolen bases as a team than the Mets in the National League. Just 68 steals this season. Pirates have 58. Getting started with a home run by Lucas Duda, extending the Mets lead to 5-2. Runner goes, and a swing and a foul. Looked like the hit and run was on. 2 balls and a strike on Tolley.
Yeah, good swing by Tolley, and Mets knew he's going to get a fastball. You send the runner, and Tolley fouled it straight back.
That ball's hit well, left field line. Braun gives chase, lays out, can't get it. And with Torres' speed, he should be able to score, and he will. On an RBI double by Josh Tolley. 2 runs are in for the Mets in the 6th. It's now 6-2. And Manny Parra having a rough time.
He's only been able to get 1 out, although there was an error in the inning. But 2 left-handers, Duda and Tolley, a home run and a double. And 2 runs in, and the man at second. Good effort by Ryan Braun down the line. And trying to keep another run from scoring. It wouldn't have mattered. It would have been a double anyway.
Still 1 out. Runner at second for Jonathan Neese, who singled off Fires in the 2nd inning. Mets back to a 4-run lead. Costly error in this inning by Segura leads to a run. Ball and 2 strikes on Nice. Looking ahead to the Brewers' 6th inning, they'll have Aramis Ramirez leading off. Ramirez, Lucroy, Gomez. The Brewers have been averaging about 6 runs per game during this hot streak, a little over 6 actually. They're going to need every bit of that here tonight. Mets already with 6 on the board. A team that has really struggled offensively lately. That's just the way the game goes, though. You know, it levels out. You don't see teams go through extended periods of ineptitude.
Yeah, the last thing you want to see coming into your ballpark is a team that's lost 6 in a row. They're due. They're due to start to swing the bat. They're due for a few wins.
Bouncing ball to Ramirez, takes a bad hop, and Nice is safe on a wicked hop. Got a piece of Ramirez's shoulder, and fortunately it didn't hit him in the face.
That's got to be a base hit, you would think, because Ramirez ordinarily is going to gobble that up easily. Watch his hop. Straight up. Right off the chest. Not sure if it got him in the face at all, but yeah, they're looking at it. Bad hop is a base hit. Comes straight up on him.
And that's going to do it for Manny Parra. Tough outing for Parra. There was an error behind him and a bad hop. Gave up the home run to lead off the inning to Duda. And Parra will exit with just 1 out recorded tonight. We'll take a timeout. Here comes Livan Hernandez.
Manny Parra done. Livan Hernandez on. Hey, come out to Miller Park and cheer on the Crew as they take on these Mets over the weekend. Good seats are still available. Call 414-902-4000. Do it quickly and go to Brewers.com.
Hoping to see the big crowds here this weekend. Livan Hernandez into pitch for Milwaukee. Takes over for Manny Parra. Parra giving up a couple of runs. There was an error behind him, but Parra giving up 3 hits. A little trouble with his command tonight, Manny Parra.
Yeah, can't afford to get behind the count. That fastball very straight, and when he gets behind, that's when he gives up his hits. Like most pitchers, but even more with Manny Parra. Livan Hernandez last pitched on Saturday against the St. Louis Cardinals, pitched a scoreless inning. Livan 3-0 with the Brewers in 23 appearances.
Trying to hold the Mets right there at 6 runs. 6 runs on 9 hits for the Mets. 3 of them in this inning. Ruben Tejada with 1 out, first and second. Bouncing ball to third, chance for 2. Ramirez to Weeks, and a low throw gets by Ishikawa. This is going to bring in another run. Boy, a chance to end the inning. And a poor throw from Ricky Weeks results in another run scored for the Mets.
And they had plenty of time to get him too. Pretty much a room service double play. Ramirez with a good throw. Ricky's throw, a in between hop, and eats up Ishikawa over there at first base. No RBI for Tejada, and the run scores on an E4.
That's a tough one to take right there. Should have been out of the inning. Would have had a little spark going into that dugout after Hernandez finishes it off with a double play. Instead, the inning continues, and Daniel Murphy, who hit a 2-run home run earlier tonight, steps in. One of those nights for the Brewers so far. They've committed 2 errors. Jonathan Neese is pitching well. He's held him to just 2 runs.
Well, Neese very rarely goes more than 7 innings. And the bullpen has been an issue for that New York Mets club. Get into that bullpen, but Neese has been able to stay out there through 6. That's the goal against every team. Get into the bullpen, but it's been hard to do tonight.
The Mets haven't scored this many runs in a game since August 28th, when they scored 9 runs against the Phillies. That was 15 games ago. Seven runs on 9 hits, 2 Brewers errors, both in this inning.
Well, you knew 9 runs in 6 games wasn't going to last forever. Big league hitters are bound to break out of it at some point. They put some good swings on the baseball tonight.
Runner goes on a 3-2, and it's popped up. Segura will call for it. He's got it, and the inning is over. But the Mets get 3. Brewers are down 5 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. And by the new Miller Lite Punch Top can. It's Miller time.
Fan Appreciation Night presented by Chevrolet is Saturday, September 29th as the Brewers take on the Astros. Come out for your chance to win fabulous prizes, including a 2013 Chevy Camaro. Visit Brewers.com/fan appreciation for tickets.
Ramos Ramirez leads off. Brewers now trailing by 5 runs after the Mets scored 3 in the top of the 6th. Jonathan Lucroy to follow. And then Gomez. And Ramirez, that's a fair ball down the line. That'll get into the corner. Not to be outdone by David Wright. Aramis Ramirez adds to his National League lead in doubles. That's number 45 for Ramirez. That is a new career high.
Yep, they able to pull the hands in on a cut fastball that was in, but it was down. Ramirez able to drop the head of the bat on it. And a good start to the 6th for the Brew Crew.
And Aramis Ramirez safe at second. Safe and secure, New York Life. Ramirez's career best was 44 back in 08 with the Cubs, a playoff team that year. And now 45 doubles. Still has an outside shot at the franchise record, which is 53, held by Lyle Overbay back in the 04 season.
That'd be a lot of doubles next couple of weeks.
Yeah, 19 games ago, including this one. No problem. One a night.
That's all.
Maybe a bonus.
Piece of cake. Huh?
Double a night in the big leagues is nothing, Rock.
It's real easy up here.
Here's Lucroy. Brewers have to cash in at every opportunity now. Down 5 runs, bottom of the 6th inning. Lucroy has a single, a run scored. He also bounced into a double play. If nothing else, the Brewers would love to chase Nice in this 6th inning.
Get some activity in that bullpen. They're starting to stretch out a little bit down there, knowing that Nice is normally a 7-inning guy.
Nice's pitch count at 91 with this next offering. And a bouncer to right. Gobbles it up. There's out number 1. Well, the Brewers had a 4-hit inning in the 2nd inning. A 25-pitch inning against Nice. He bounced right back, though, and had a quick one in the 3rd. 3 up, 3 down in the 4th. Issued a walk in the 5th, and now this leadoff double here in the 6th inning. Here's Carlos Gomez. 1 for 2 tonight. He singled back in the 2nd. He struck him out his last time up. The Brewers have taken the reins off Gomez a little bit. They realize they're going to see some strikeouts, but they've kind of changed the philosophy. It started last year with hitting coach Dale Swaim and has carried over to this season. They want Gomez to think like a power hitter, drive the ball. Everything he does is with rocket fuel anyway, so they don't want to change him at the plate anymore. The Mets tried it. It didn't work. The Twins tried it. Tried to make him a speed player, put it on the ground, use his speed. Brewers are asking him to be a power player with speed. And he's responded. 16 home runs this year, a career best. That one's in there for a strike. 3-2, the bottom of the strike zone, and Gomez still at the plate. See what Nice has in mind for him here. 3-2. Gomez fouls it away.
That's that off-speed breaking pitch that Nice has been throwing from time to time. He's thrown a lot more of those in the last 3 innings than he did in the first 3.
And a curveball missed a little bit high. Gomez with a nice at bat. He draws the walk, and base runners for Milwaukee will bring Dan Warthen, the Mets pitching coach, out from the dugout.
Yeah, third walk in the game by Jonathan Neese, and that's the first time in 18 starts. He had 17 consecutive starts where he had walked 2 or less. Not tonight.
Mets have Ramon Ramirez loosening in the bullpen. They have plenty of arms down there.
He's not coming in right now. You've got Ishikawa coming up.
Ramirez just started to throw. Matter of fact, the catcher just now getting down in a squat. So at least one more hitter with Ishikawa coming up. Segura, the right-handed bat, is next. Well, the Brewers need to cash in here. It is a 7-2 Mets lead. New York scored 2 in the second. The Brewers answered with 2 in the bottom of the second. Ishikawa had an RBI in that inning. 2 on, 1 out. And that hit him.
Might have swung.
Yeah, they're calling it a strike. Ishikawa still walking. It's a dead ball. Ishikawa thinks he's been hit by a pitch, but Jerry Lane's going to give him the unfortunate news.
Yeah, hits him on the arm, but you can see he swings. So it's a strike.
Swing counts first. And it's a double negative. I think the only answer that Ron Renicky could even hear, like a dog whistle, you know, is that you're okay to stay, right? Didn't have many options at first base. He could go to Maldonado. Corey Hart's not available.
Taylor Green can play first.
Another left-handed bat.
Right.
So Ishikawa will stay. And we pick it up with an 0-1 count. One and 2 on Ishikawa. Travis grew up in the Bay Area. He always gets some good-natured ribbing. You see Ishikawa and Aoki in the batting order, and you go, oh, a couple of guys from Japan. And Travis will tell you, no, I'm from California, man. A swing and a miss. Down he goes. And a strikeout for Neese. That's his 4th. 2 outs in the inning now.
Yeah, fastball down. He's done a nice job of keeping a fastball down in the strike zone tonight. Right on the outside corner.
So here is Segura now with 2 outs. Milwaukee in need of a big hit. Had a double and a walk in this inning. Ramirez had the double. Gomez walks. Milwaukee down 5 here in the 6th. Segura is 0 for 2 against Neese tonight. Martin Maldonado would hit next if Segura can reach. Which would give us a look at Josh Stinson, one of the September call-ups. Nice with a pitch count of 105. Will probably be his last inning. Could be his last hitter. Segura fouls it away, stays in there.
A lot of off-speed pitches by John Nice right now. That curve ball at about 75, 76 miles an hour. That last one at 80. That's about at his limit right there, about 106, 110.
He has Segura down in the count. The 1-2 pitch and a breaking ball in the dirt. Nice block by Josh Tolley. Crowd's been quiet. Mets have taken him out of it so far. A crowd of nearly 39,000. Segura would love to give him something to cheer about here. 2-2 with 2 outs. 2 on for the Brewers. And Segura spoils another one right off his foot. That's why you call John Nice a ground ball pitcher right there. He's got a lot of tail on his fastball.
That cut fastball, he'll have some tail to left-handers, but you know, that movement going down and in, you get the top of the baseball and you just pound it off your foot. He's been impressive tonight. Had a nice game.
He's given up 3 walks right now, 2 runs. And right off the instep of Segura. Oof, yeah, might have caught him in the shin actually. So we'll reset it here. 2-2 again. And Segura over to third. Wright makes the play. Long throw is in time and the inning is over. Boy, that was some kind of play by David Wright on a wicked hop. Nice is through 6. 7-2 Mets. Been good tonight. He's given up just the 2 runs. Brewers have stranded some base runners tonight, but Nice through 6, probably his last inning. Fiers went 5 tonight, gave up 4 earned runs. Daniel Murphy hit a 2-run homer, and Lucas Duda has a home run as well for New York. He's driven in a pair. 7-2 Mets as we play in the 7th inning. Been a bit of a dud so far for Milwaukee. They've committed 2 errors. But still time, especially the way they've been swinging the bats lately. But the goal right here is to keep the Mets at 7. Livan Hernandez now enters his 2nd inning of work.
Yeah, can't fall behind too much. You're about at the limit at this point. 5 runs, and you figure that Mets bullpen is going to get active here now. The Achilles heel of this ball club, or at least the pitching staff.
double barrel action going on. John Roush is the big right-hander, and I mean big, 6'11", and he's probably the only guy that can make Josh Eggen look small.
Yeah, he's no Tinker Bell either.
Looking ahead to the Brewers' 7th inning, they'll have a pinch hitter to lead off. And then back to the top of the order, Aoki and Weeks. Anybody gets on, Ryan Braun. Brewers trying to stay in the picture in the wild card race. 3.5 back to start play today. And a strike called as Livan Hernandez flutters one in to strike out David Wright. He finessed him for a backwards K.
Flutters one in. I like it. The flutters. You call it a flutter on a fastball. How about that? Right on the outside corner.
It's the best I could come up with that 85-mile-an-hour fastball. It's kind of filleted in there.
R.A. Dickey, when he's on the mound, you hear words like flutter.
No offense, Livan. Dodgers and the Cardinals are underway. That game is scoreless in the bottom of the first inning. Dodgers sending up Chris Capuano tonight. Joe Kelly for the Cardinals. A tight wild card race. Incredible that we're even scoreboard watching after where the Brewers were just 3 weeks ago.
And you probably wouldn't be doing it had baseball not added that second wild card.
You know, the Mets kind of running away with that wild card spot. They have a 5-game lead over the Cardinals. I check at the Braves, not the Mets. I beg your pardon. Braves have a 5-game lead for the first wild card spot. The 2 wild card teams will play a play-in game. The winner of that goes into the League Division Series against the team with the best record. So if it ended right now, the Mets would host the Cardinals. And then the winner of the Braves would host the Cardinals, and the winner of that game would play the Nationals. Davis pops it up. Weeks wants it. And the second out.
So basically you have 5 extra cities that feel as though they have a shot to get into the postseason at this point. Where last year it'd be pretty much a foregone conclusion.
That's right. Dodgers are 2 back of that second wild card spot. That's the one to pay attention to.
You throw the Diamondbacks in there, it makes another.
Diamondbacks are 5 out.
Still tough when you have all those teams to climb over. The Brewers did a nice job leaping over a couple teams.
Phillies are winning tonight, beating the Astros 9-4 in the 7th inning. Got a bunch of home runs in that game. Brown and Rollins for the Phillies, Downs and Maxwell for the Astros. That one's popped up. Segura will put away Duda. 1-2-3 inning for Livan Hernandez. His spot due up. We'll see a pinch hitter. Brewers down 5.
Hear from you, the fans, on the pulse of social media. The Brewers trailing 7-2 here, but one could argue that a big part of the Brewers' resurgence has been the emergence of Nori Aoki in right field. We asked fans tonight, has Aoki been more valuable for the team at the plate or in the outfield? Great responses from fans. Turner said he has been as good of a leadoff hitter as you could ask for. He has great plate discipline and advances base runners. Craig tweeted us saying outfield. His emergence as a legit major league outfielder allowed Hart to slide over to first base when needed. And Eric made his case for Aoki saying rookie of the year, clutch all around, fields well, throws great, and consistently puts the ball in play at the plate. A complete player. BA and Rock, Nori Aoki, a quote-unquote rookie who after an 8-year career in Japan certainly has not played like one this year.
Yeah, no question. It's hard to think of him as a rookie, though, right? He's a guy that has had a lot of success. He was a star in Japan. And here he is testing his game at the highest level, and he has showed very well this season. He's due to hit second in this inning. Got some changes here for the Mets. Mike Baxter will take over in right field. And the new pitcher, left-hander Josh Edgin, his 30th appearance of the season. The left-handers in the Mets bullpen have been very good, very aggressive, hard-throwing lefties. Ron Renicky will counter with a right-handed pinch hitter, as Eric Ferris will get an at-bat. Ferris has spent most of the year in the minor leagues. He was in AAA Nashville this year. John Neese is out with a chance to win his 11th. He pitched well tonight, holding the Brewers to just 2 runs. 7-2 Mets. Ferris has been used on a few occasions as a pinch hitter and a pinch runner. Very fast. Ferris is an excellent defender at second base. That's his natural position. But he can play short, third, can play him in the outfield if you need to.
He's been a contact hitter throughout his days in the minor leagues. And with the Brewers needing base runners, that's the guy that Ron Renicky selects here to lead off.
Fly ball to right. Baxter tested right away and out number 1. So Edgin with 1 away. And to the top of the order now, Nori Aoki. Aoki at the plate tonight as a single. That was in the first inning off Neese. He's 1 for 3. And Sophia posing the question tonight, where has Aoki been the most valuable to the Brewers, at the plate or defensively? That ball's hit well. Back is Duda. On the track, he's got it for the out. 2 gone.
I think offensively has been his best impact. I mean, the leadoff hitter, he's solidified the leadoff spot. He's really done a nice job up there. In there just about every day, left-handers and right-handers. And if you're going to be a team that's going to be consistent in scoring runs, you got to be pretty locked down in your first 4 or 5 guys in your lineup, particularly a leadoff hitter. That can't really be a spot where you have a platoon.
So that's going to do it for Edgin here. Terry Collins will make a double switch. Got a string of right-handers coming up. The left-hander is out. We'll set up the new pitcher when we come back. A big crowd. Quiet tonight. Mets have taken them out of it. Our Ho-Chunk Gaming text question: what do the patches on the Mets jerseys that say Kid mean? Dean in New Berlin is asking. Brewers have their version of the Kid.
And Gary Carter.
Yep, Robin Yount for the Brewers. Gary Carter is known as the Kid, and he passed away this past February. And, he was a great Met. He began his career with the Expos. And the great number 8, Gary Carter, and that was a big loss.
Hall of Famer.
57 years of age, he passed away.
Played the game with a lot of passion, didn't he? Gary Carter. Andre Torres stays in center field, and Fred Lewis now taking over in left in a double switch.
The new pitcher is John Roush.
He's been very good lately. You talk about his last 23 in the third innings, has allowed 3 earned runs. And that covers 32 appearances.
Well, for a tattoo artist, he is the ultimate canvas for a human being. At 6'11".
Got a lot of room.
There's plenty of him. How about the neck tattoo? That's got to be painful.
Who's he got on that neck? What is that?
Would you mind turning, John? Thanks. No, the other way.
What kind of a branch is that? Willow tree?
Kind of crest. Nah, I don't know. We'll have to ask him tomorrow. .611. Prince Fielder had a neck tattoo, if I'm not mistaken. As Weeks rips one foul. I mean, you're committed when you start going to the neck tattoos.
Yeah,
right?
you know what? There's no turning back. That is a commitment, getting a tattoo. Who's got more? John Roush or Ryan Roberts?
Yeah, good one. Yeah, that's a good one. He's got plenty of neck tattoos. Matter of fact, they call him the Tat Man.
Right.
Now with the Rays.
Not as big a guy.
Not as much canvas to work with. You're right.
So pound for pound, the most ink.
Full count to Weeks. 7-2 Mets. And Ricky into center field. Playable for Torres. And that will retire the side. To the 8th we go. Mets lead by 5.
Forecast expecting very little change in the weather pattern for Saturday. Still looking clear and cool toward Milwaukee with temperatures into the mid-60s around first pitch.
Looks like a nice day tomorrow. Thank you, Violetta, and our Miller Lite What's on Tap. The Brewers and the Mets the next 2 days. 5:30 is airtime tomorrow. 6:10 first pitch, and then Sunday is a day game. Brewers take Monday off before starting a 3-city road trip, beginning in Pittsburgh, and then Washington, and then Cincinnati. Hope you'll make plans to join us. Love to fill this place up. Brewers have good crowds over the weekend, but hoping to sell it out and create that playoff environment.
And get a bobblehead on Sunday and no Packer game. A Ramis Ramirez bobblehead day on Sunday. And Josh Stinson, his second appearance. He pitched against the Marlins. He was a starter down in the minor leagues in Double-A. 29 games, 24 starts. He was 11-9 with a .316 earned run average.
They had a nice year, Stinson. And getting just our second look at him in the major leagues. Mike Baxter batting for the first time. He came in on the double switch. And he will take a strike. 1-1 the count. I'm sure Renicky would love to get a couple of innings out of Stinson tonight. All depends on what the Brewers do offensively the rest of the way. Baxter with a couple of home runs this year. Got a couple of hits against Milwaukee in May in that 2-game series. Brewers split that series with the Mets. And a bouncing ball, 2 weeks for the first out.
Yeah, Stinson made his major league debut as a member of the Mets. He did that in September last year against the Nationals. He actually notched a save last year against the Marlins. So pitching here tonight against his old club.
The Brewers picked him off waivers from the Mets. Mets took him off their major league roster, and the Brewers had seen him, scouted him, liked his arm, and took a shot. And he has rewarded him with a nice year. He was 11-9 down in Double-A. He's a ground ball pitcher. He gives up his fair share of hits, but gets a lot of ground balls, a lot of double plays. Very few home runs.
And not a big strikeout guy. 91 strikeouts in 145 innings. Keeps the ball on the ground. As you mentioned, gets ground balls.
He's the perfect guy to pitch at Miller Park. He gave up just 7 home runs this year in his Double-A season. 1-2 on Andres Torres. Brewers are very pleased with their up-and-coming pitching. That's not something this organization has been able to say very often. There are a number of options. We've seen some excellent starts from the likes of Mike Fiers and Mark Rogers, Willie Peralta. And then there's another wave of young pitchers coming. And that's why, you feel like the Brewers are going to be able to stay competitive for a while. That's how you stay competitive with talented young pitching.
The Brewers are still waiting to when they can get Tyler Thornburg into the act here in September. He's been with the club but has not pitched. They're waiting for him to make a start.
Renicky talking about shutting down Mike Fiers eventually. He's getting near an innings limit as Stinson zips a fastball by Torres. 94-mile-an-hour fastball from Stinson. And 2 gone in the inning.
And right down the middle. Not sure what Torres was looking for. He's upset with himself. That one splits the plate right in half.
So it'll be Josh Tolley now with 2 outs. Well, I think every organization hopes that as you start to develop young pitching, they catch fire together. You know, if one has success like Mike Fiers, it can really build confidence. And guys who are pitching with certain players in the minor leagues, they see them show up in the big leagues and succeed. It only propels them forward. I mean, we're seeing that with the Orioles, the Oakland Athletics. Tampa Bay has been doing that for a few years now. I mean, their young pitchers are turning into stars in the big leagues. And the Brewers, they have a chance to do that with their young pitching staff. And that is very encouraging.
And we've talked about this a number of times, but you consider some of the young pitchers that the Brewers are going to have in their rotation next year. You can imagine the money that they're going to be able to save not having to go to the free agent market. And all of a sudden you have money to do something else.
Well, the reason the Orioles and the Athletics are in a position to go to the postseason is the same reason the Brewers are now in a position to make a wild card run. It's been their pitching, their young pitching. Getting great work from Jim Henderson in the bullpen, who's not so young, but it's his first time in the major leagues.
Yeah, young in years of service and experience at the major league level, but you know, the bullpen's the big difference. Last 3 weeks, finishing games, that's the big key, and they have been doing that.
Josh Tolley draws the walk with 2 outs, and that'll bring up Fred Lewis. He came in on a double switch. Renicky made a good point about the fact that the Brewers are back in this, and these games mean something, and it's a lot of postseason implications the rest of the way, and that's great for young players to be in, not just to be involved in a pennant race, but to be succeeding in a pennant race. And a lot of them are the reason the Brewers are here anyway.
Right, playing an integral part, you bet.
It really pays off.
Just sitting back watching. A lot of foul balls, I guess, today. Did you see a couple of dozen balls making their way to the field?
Go get more baseballs. 2 dozen. Half swing going to be tough, and Stenson letting it roll. There's no chance he's going to throw out the speedy Fred Lewis, and that'll be an infield hit.
Not much you can say about this right here, except Fred Lewis will take it.
But that's to your point. You know, a team loses 6 in a row. At some point, the breaks are going to go their way, and
right.
the Mets have gotten some breaks. They've made their own. They've swung the bats well tonight. They have 10 hits.
That's the thing. You hate to see a team coming in that has a long losing streak, because you know it's going to end at some point.
Top of the order, Tejada. 2 on against Stenson. 2 outs. And a foul back in the seats. Pitching matchup tomorrow night. Sean Markham against Henry Mejia, a hard thrower who is just into the rotation after Tommy John surgery last year. Tejada pops it up. Ricky Weeks is out. He'll give way to Aoki, who has a much easier play. The inning is over. Stenson works a scoreless 8th against his old team.
car chase or whether you lose, there's still 6 teams in it, and you need help either way.
You certainly do, and this is just tonight's just been a little bit of a hiccup right now, you know, with an inning to go. But yes, you do need help from the other ball clubs, especially the ones that are ahead of you. They got to lose.
All right, we'll see how they do. We'll break it all down for you, update the standings, and the games going on out west here from the clubhouse as well, all coming up next on Brewers Live after the game. Brian and Bill, back to you guys.
All right, Craig and Davey, thanks. You see Bobby Parnell, hard-throwing right-hander, is on the pitch. And a 7-2 Mets lead. Head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Brewers are running out of outs. You can't win them all, that's for sure, with 19 to go, typically. So you try to think about it in blocks, and the Brewers certainly want to win this series and then go on the road trip and do your best. It's tough to, you know, have an undefeated road trip. The Brewers are going to have 10 games on the road coming up, so that's going to be the real test. But they hope to take care of business at home. Cardinals continue their road trip tonight. They'll be in Los Angeles, the second game of that series. It is 2-1 St. Louis in the 3rd inning. That's a team the Brewers are rooting against as of right now. That could change. You never know who you're going to be rooting for or against. As Braun shoots one to right, a base hit. His first hit of the night. He is 1 for 3. And a man on to start the 8th inning.
And nobody does that any better than Ryan Braun, taking that fastball and hitting it hard into right field. Check it out. Right down the middle, Ryan Braun leading with